Peace, love and light. It's your girl Morgan Renee Myers. Tuning in with you all for another reading of Feeding the Soul because that's my business by Tabitha Brown. We are on chapters 23 and 24. I'm reading 2 chapters at a time so I can get through this beautiful book. And start my day off with live alkaline water, black owned water from black owned indigenous land out here in Yadkinville, North Carolina. Might as well purchase it from the black woman. We have them in glass bottles, plastic 20-ounce, gallons, the 5 gallons. So inbox me for more information on how you could purchase some and get a discount using my code. Anywho, we're diving right into the book of Feeding the Soul by Tabitha Brown. We're on chapter 23 entitled What You Believe Is Your Business. It starts off with a quote from, it says attributed to Libby Fudum. So let's just read the quote. It says, know in your heart that all things are possible. We couldn't conceive of a miracle if none had ever happened. All right, let's go. About 6 to 8 months before she passed away, my mama and I had a conversation about her death. We knew she was going to die, and it had begun to weigh on me. I said, Mama, I don't know what I'm going to do when you're gone. You're my best friend. What am I going to do without you? Always wise, she responded with compassion and honesty. I thought the same thing when Granny died, but one day I was at work, honey, and having one of the roughest days. When I went back to my desk and sat down, there was a nickel sitting on the edge of my desk. I didn't know where Mama was going, but I was intrigued. For whatever reason, I was just so drawn to this nickel. I realized in that moment I felt the presence of my mom. Really? I said. Yeah. And after that, whenever I'd have rough days or maybe just really good days when I was missing her, I would find a nickel. I couldn't help but laugh. So you think Granny is leaving you nickels? I think so, she said. Well, if that's what you think, what will you leave me so I'll know when you're gone? I'll know you're around when you're gone. You know what? I'll double it, and I'll leave you dimes. We laughed so hard about that. Well, Mom, I'm going to be looking for them dimes. I never told anyone about me and Mama's conversation. It was one of the things I just pushed down into my heart and didn't think too much about afterward. Those 8 months flew by, and my mother made her hard-fought transition. When we finally returned to Los Angeles after the funeral, nobody had been in our home for the 2 weeks we'd been in North Carolina. The first night, my husband and I went to get into bed, and when we pulled the covers back, my bed was full of dimes, at least 7. Honey, Chan said, why do you have dimes in the bed? I said, I don't have dimes in the bed. We haven't been here. Why would I have dimes in the bed? That's when it hit me. I remember the conversation with my mother. No, it couldn't be. How else did those dimes get in there? Chance, I want to tell you something. I finally told him about the conversation with Mom, and it scared him. Oh, that makes me nervous, he said. Don't tell me no more. I spent so much time that night trying to make sense of it all. I wanted to believe it was true, but I just didn't know how. The next morning, I was in the kitchen cooking breakfast when Chance, who was in the shower, started screaming and yelling. Tab, come into the bathroom right now. Right now. I go into the bathroom, and he can barely talk. He's pointing at the shower, and when I look over, the shower floor had about 5 or 6 dimes on it. My heart swelled. It was true. Mama was there. Ever since Mama passed away, to this day, I still find dimes everywhere I go. In my roughest times, there's a dime. In my happiest times, I find a dime. On days when I just need to be reminded that everything is going to be okay, I find a dime in the weirdest place or mixed into some mind-blowing situation. We do have angels, and we are given signs every now and then to remind us that we are being covered and protected. For me, it's dimes. For you, it might be something else. The key to it all, we have to believe. Now, I know what you are thinking. No, Tab, that's too much. I don't know about all that. And I understand. The supernatural can be scary when we don't embrace it. This may be against what you believe. That's fine too, honey. But, honey, know that God speaks in a myriad of ways. I love the Lord. I love Jesus. I'm a true believer of all things, including angels and the world above that we can't see. As the old church folks used to say, God is still in the miracle working business. Miracles didn't stop when folks stopped writing the Bible. I don't believe that for 1 second. Miracles are still happening every day on this earth. God has done and can do more than we could ever imagine. But none of that matters anyway if you don't believe. You want your miracle? You want your version of the dimes? You want those unexpected blessings? Decide to believe what you call impossible. Watch what happens. said, what Bree said? You don't understand how much I enjoy being able to sit and crochet, then come to your YouTube and listen to you read this book. Has been great. Oh, thanks, Bree. I appreciate you. But none of that matters if you don't believe. You want your miracle. You want your version of the dimes. You want those unexpected blessings. Decide to believe what you call impossible. Watch what happens. Don't let people convince you that what you believe is wrong. When God puts something in your heart, or you know without a shadow of doubt that something has happened, trust that. Yes, there will be folks around you trying to convince you that you are crazy, or they'll say it's the devil. They told Jesus the same thing, you know. He's healing people and working miracles, and those doggone church folks claims he's doing it by the power of the devil. So if people did it to him, they'll do it to you. Don't you give it any attention, though. Stick with what you believe. If you know you've prayed on that thing, you've asked God for confirmation, and he sends it to you, that's all that matters. Guard your miracle, message, or gift with your heart. Don't expect people to understand. This is your journey. Trust your journey. And even in the traumatic times, trust the miracles that help you move through it. It could be easy to forget this when we're going through something that seems unbearable. But God is trusting us to get through it. He knows we're strong enough to endure. He may not have caused it, but he for sure has equipped us with all we need to survive it. If you're still able to see the light, no matter how dark it is, that's a blessing. If you're still grasping at hope and holding on to faith, you are on your way to a miracle. Honey, it might be hard to wake up sometimes, I know, and your flesh might get weak. Keep believing. That's how you keep your spirit strong. Let nobody tell you what to believe, all right? You know what's in your heart because God put it there. Keep believing in your signs. Keep believing in your miracles. Keep knowing that your angels are with you. Oh, Daryl. I like when you read to us like a mother goose feeding her fly. I gotta feed my babies now. Yes. All right, so she ends this chapter with the TSA, which is a tab service announcement that reads, one of the major ways I deal with life interruptions is by quickly prioritizing the need when the interruption arises. I ask myself, is this an interruption that deserves my time? Because if it's not, then it's not an interruption. It's life that needs to happen. But if it's something that can truly wait, well, honey, it will wait. That distinction is so important because we can't control the up and down, back and forth. And sometimes an interruption is a sign that something needs to be tended to. So if it requires my energy and time in order to make room for peace within, then I handle it as it comes. If not, then I continue on with what I'm presently doing. Not every interruption deserves your time and energy. And honey, I know it takes a lot of time to get to a place where you can decide to say, this is not worth my time. I will not allow this to be an interruption. But when you can do that, you'll find that you will move forward through life with much more ease. Like I've said before, consistency is what drives success. It is what gives you what you need to get where you're going. Develop good habits and things will just start to naturally fall into place because you are putting in the work. But always be mindful to measure the interruptions and distractions that will inevitably come to see if they're even worth your time and if they deserve your energy. Then give it to them, but get right back on track once you're done. And if you are being consistent, then when that interruption comes, you will know how to handle it and get right back to doing what you were doing. All right. So now we're in part 5, what she calls Very Good. And chapter 24, which is entitled Grateful, Grateful, Grateful. Starts off with a quote by author Alice Walker that reads, "Thank you is the best prayer that anyone could say." I was standing on the balcony of a beautiful luxury home in View Park, Los Angeles, looking out at an amazing cityscape. As I stood there, preparing myself to host the TEDx Crenshaw event, my heart was filled with so much praise. Why? Because, honey, I could literally see my past from where I was standing. A 7-unit blue Baldwin Hills apartment building with a white balcony stood directly across the street. Visible from my position on that balcony was the apartment where Chance, Choice, and I lived for 5 years when we first moved to LA. We come a long way from our days in that space, not just in distance, but in life. Because of the things I've been through in my life, I live in a state of gratitude. Honestly, I didn't think I'd be here to see these blessings. That's why I'm a firm believer in stopping to acknowledge the grace life gives us. It surely could have gone another way. Even as I write this in my office, in my new dream home, I am struck with just how good God is. In our other home, I had an office. It was just a couch. Now I'm sitting in a space I decorated myself with a beautiful gold chandelier, a pink and gold couch, and a gold and white desk with beautiful decorative chairs and a little side table with a mirror on it. All around me are pictures of me and or my daughter on the covers of magazines and fan artwork from followers. And of course, there's my ring light, still recording videos, still sharing my heart. But be clear, it's not about the stuff. The stuff is just a marker, a tangible representation of what I know God has done in my mind, heart, and body. I come into my office often, even as we are in the process of moving into the rest of the house, because I have to acknowledge every single thing I see in here. There was a time when none of it existed. And honey, here's the thing. None of it was here because I wasn't here. None of what I see manifested right now in my life existed because I had not made it to this point in my inner life. It's all connected. The transformations on the inside always show up as transformations on the outside. So, gratitude has to be something we practice on a daily basis. Take a minute and look around. No matter where you are, know that there was a previous stop on your journey that looked much different. Know that you could have been somewhere else or nowhere at all. God allowed me to walk through this life with all its ups and downs, and I'm so thankful. I sowed my seeds, and now I'm reaping a harvest I couldn't have imagined on my own. This office, this home is mine, and it blows my mind every time I think about it. My gratitude also comes from the fact that I know where we came from. I never want to make the mistake of getting too comfortable with solely thinking, oh, this is what I'm supposed to have, to the extent that instead of being grateful, I am entitled. There's a way to grab hold of your blessings without acting like God owed you those blessings. Yes? If you're going to get comfortable, baby, find comfort in your gratitude. Yes, you do deserve the good things that happen in your life. Yes, you are supposed to be there. God chose you for that journey, and you've sown good seeds. But cradle all that deserving in humility. Never lose sight of where you came from. The distance between there and here is paved in life lessons that you should never let slip from your memory. Sometimes when people reach a certain level of success, they detach from the lessons that got them there. They go a bit numb to all the emotions that can come up when they look around and realize just how far they've come. Again, the awareness of their worthiness shifts into entitlement. I never want to not feel. If I stop feeling, if I go numb to my blessings, something is terribly wrong. Living in a constant state of gratitude means that I'm very much alive and I'm very much in touch with who my provider is. God opened the doors that allowed me to walk my prepared self through. I'm clear about that. An attitude of gratitude has so many benefits. When you live with that mindset, you will appreciate your family more. When God brings you from a completely different way of life into a new one, He often doesn't just bring you. He brings your entire family along. I get to see my husband not be completely stressed about working, bills, and finances like he used to be. I get to see who he is and what he can accomplish when he's free from those worries. Oh, God, I thank you. I get to see my daughter, 2 years out of high school, living her dream of being a model without excess worry or frustration. Oh, God, I thank you. I get to see my son have the kind of fun bedroom that Chance and I could have only imagined as children. His bed is shaped like a car, video games and books everywhere, a basketball court outside. Oh, God, I thank you. Even with our oldest daughter, my bonus baby, Tylia, I get to see her pursue her dream of running track professionally. She has to pay for her training, and it fills my heart with joy to be able to tell her she can come back home and not pay rent on an apartment so she can use her money and time to focus on the things she loves without the added stress. Oh, God, I thank you. Your freedom and the blessings that come from that can set the folks around you free if you let it. It doesn't matter what step of the ladder you are standing on right now. It could have gone another way. You could be struggling now, but if you ate today, then you are doing a lot better than a lot of people. Stand in gratitude. Find something, anything, to thank God for, and watch how your heart's posture will elevate you. Remember when I shared with you the time I told God that if He freed me from pain, I'd give my life to Him? Well, my life as it currently stands is the other side of that promise. It's the faithfulness and obedience that have given me these blessings. God said, I'm going to give you this because you've been faithful. How could I ever go numb to that? I'll stay thankful for it all until my last breath. Don't take your blessings for granted, baby. Like my daddy used to tell me, as quick as you got it is as quick as it can be taken away. So while you have what you have, be grateful for every little thing. Gratitude means you can be trusted with God's favor. So the more thankful you are, the more blessings will come. All right, she ends it with a TSA, tab service announcement. Listen, listen, there comes a time when you have to make your own decisions on how to celebrate your victories, okay? Whether it is a small victory or something huge that happened in your life, it's still your victory, right? Don't let people influence you or get in your head saying, man, that's it? You celebrating that? Don't celebrate too soon. Don't allow folks to get you to doubt your victories. If you feel good about it, if you've accomplished something you're proud of, then, baby, celebrate your moment. You go ahead and do that because that's your business. You are the only person who knows how you feel. You are the one who worked hard for that thing. So yes, you are the one who gets to make the decision when or how or whether you celebrate your victory. Honey, it brings that old church song to my spirit. Victory is mine. Victory is mine. Victory today is mine. I told Satan, get thee behind. Victory today is mine. Honey, did you catch those words? Victory is yours. So when folks start trying to mess up your day by telling you that your joy isn't worth celebrating, tell them folks to get on behind you. You celebrate your victories because guess what? That's your business. Then she has a recipe for a lobster mushroom pasta. Nobody missed this lobster like I miss lobster. When I discovered lobster mushrooms, my life felt like I got saved, okay? So, like, born again. It's mind-blowing how lobster mushrooms literally look and taste like lobster. If you can't get your hands on them because they are seasonal and hard to find, you can opt for oyster mushrooms and season them the same way. Just know the texture and color won't be as close to lobster as the lobster mushrooms. So you'll need some vegetable broth, some lobster mushrooms chopped, a little bit of chopped white onion, but make sure it's chopped fine, some diced tomatoes, fresh or canned, that's your business, a salt-free multi-spice seasoning blend, a little bit of garlic powder or chopped fresh garlic if you have some, angel hair pasta, whatever pasta you want to because that's your business, salt for the pasta, a little bit of virgin olive oil, a little bit of vegan butter, a little bit of chopped kale, vegan parmesan. Grab a bowl, add your broth, lobster mushrooms, and onions, stir it a bit. Add your tomatoes, garlic powder, and spice blend. Pour everything into a pan and let it cook on medium heat for a bit. A bit is however long your spirit tells you to cook it. When it comes to a gentle boil, let it do what it do for a pair of minutes or so. Meanwhile, boil your noodles separately in water with a sprinkle of salt and a dab of olive oil. You can also add garlic powder to the water if garlic is your thing. Once it boils, add some vegan butter to give the drained noodles more flavor. Now, grab your kale and add it to the lobster mushrooms that have been simmering. Stir your kale right on in along with more of your spice blend and let it cook down for 5 to 7 minutes. Now, drain your noodles and add them to the lobster mushroom pan. Add a little vegan parmesan on top, and there you go. Ain't it good? Well, all right. That's the end of those chapters. If you've been following me on Instagram and Facebook, please go on over to my YouTube channel and subscribe. It's Morgan Myers, MorganMyers. You'll see a red logo with a yellow M inside for more of my edutainment. So I thank y'all for tuning in. Hope you got something out of it, and I'll tune in with y'all again soon. Peace.